Hey y'all, how's it going? I just wanted to do a little introduction before I get into the video. My name is Nikki, and I really enjoy history, and I'm really, really fascinated with Jamestown history. So I kind of want to do a deep dive on Jamestown, but right now we're just going to jump into touching on Virginia. America didn't just appear out of nowhere. A lot of the country's structure, the economy, the politics, the social order was tested early in one place and then scaled up. That place was Virginia. Jamestown was founded in 1607. That was the first permanent English settlement. And it wasn't some noble project either. People weren't coming here for freedom, they were coming here to make money. That's the starting point. Then tobacco shows up and everything changes. Everybody just loses their mind. Once tobacco becomes profitable, land becomes power. Labor becomes power. Wealth starts building fast, and you can basically see the early American system forming in real time. A few people at the top getting rich and everybody else doing the work. That model didn't stay small. It spread. The country copied it. Same thing politically. Look at the early presidents who were also slave owners: Washington, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe. That's definitely not a coincidence. A lot of the early leadership class came from this one place, Virginia. It was shaping national power before the country even had its full identity. Now, obviously, enslaved labor was part of that foundation. That's the real, honest, uncomfortable, disgusting truth. But I don't want to sit in the obvious. What's more interesting is what people skip over. The contribution didn't stop at oppression. Black Americans pushed the country forward from inside the system that tried to crush them. Also, and most people don't know this, in the early years before slavery became fully locked into law, there were free black people. Some Africans weren't enslaved at all. Some came over here free and stayed free and owned land. That early period existed, which tells you something important. None of this was automatic. The racial hierarchy was built over time. Why was that? Why did that happen? I want to know. Like, what really set that off? I'm going to really dig into that deeper, honestly, because that's very, very interesting. But anyways, moving on. So, the racial hierarchy was built over time. It was chosen and it was codified. It did not drop out of the sky fully formed. And later on, the same communities that were excluded becoming the ones, and later on, the same communities that were excluded became the ones forcing change through abolition, through education, through civil rights work, through building institutions when they weren't allowed into the official ones. That's why American ideals shifted at all, not because the country naturally matured, because people pushed it. So when people say Virginia built America, I'm not saying it as a slogan. I'm not romanticizing it either. What I mean is a lot of the systems, economic, political, social, were tested early here in Virginia and then scaled up into the nation. If you want to understand why the country still carries certain patterns, you look at where those patterns started. That's the point. That's it. Thank you so much for listening. I post videos every Monday and Thursday. Pop back in if you want to check out another one.